for not having a dialogue right now. If they'd like to talk to our generals, I can arrange it. If they'd like to talk to our politicians, I can arrange it. That shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah. It's quite ironic because the only communication that is taking place is with the army. Isn't it ironic? What a question. Think about it. The only communication that is taking place right now is between DGMOs. So military is talking to military, and here they come to Washington, D.C. and say, we are not going to talk to you because we don't want to talk to the military, my friends. Military is the only agent that you're talking to.
But only in the context of the ceasefire. Above and beyond the ceasefire,
there's no communication.
No communication either with the military or with the civilians. But on the ceasefire front or the de-escalation front, the point of contact is DGM. I mean, I just think that the Indian delegation is getting increasingly desperate. If that's a narrative that they'd like to pitch, so be it. But that was not the basis of this conflict. Supposedly the basis of this conflict was terrorism. Terrorism that took place in Kashmir. They've cut off our water supply. All of these things have nothing to do with China. They might think that, I think that this sort of image that they've been trying to, this image about themselves that they've been pitching here in the United States, that we're going to be the net security provider, that subsidize our economy, subsidize our military-industrial complex for some future war within the region, has actually been exposed and backfired during this conflict. That a country that's supposed to be the net security provider for the region could not provide net security to their own people, could not provide net security to the occupied people in Kashmir, could not provide net security to their airplanes. So I believe the true path forward is for India and Pakistan to engage in a dialogue, to establish peace. Whatever excuse you want to make, sometimes it's this civil military excuse, sometimes it's this geopolitical excuse, sometimes it's this, oh, all Muslims are terrorist excuse, so we're not going to talk to Pakistan. It's getting, I mean, you can't be two nuclear armed neighbors with a conflict threshold so low and absolutely no dispute resolution mechanism. They don't accept the United Nations, they don't accept international law, they don't accept United Nations Security Council resolutions, they don't want mediation from the United States, and they don't want to talk directly with Pakistan. So would it make rational sense to any country anywhere that to have no dispute mechanism, no way to resolve your dispute other than to go immediately to war? I think that entire proposition makes India less secure, makes Pakistan less secure, makes the whole region less secure, and it's in all our interest to convince India to undo the decision that doesn't serve their purposes and come to the table and talk peace.
May I add one thing? So this Chinese question is very interesting. I feel that it's quite. I mean, it's interesting because the second largest importer of Russian crude is India. What does that make India? And the shield that they have put, that they call S-400, is a Russian shield. It's Russian equipment. What does that make India? And the drones that they used were Israeli. So what does that make India? And the planes that they flew were French. So what does that make India? Isn't it crazy that we use some equipment because our access to arms is limited? We like to diversify our armament, our arsenal. We reach out to the world to diversify our arsenal. And if we don't get anything from anywhere, we get the best equipment that we can. But no one says that this is a Russian bloc because of S-400 or because of the import of troops. No one says it's the Israeli bloc. No one says it's the French bloc. Look, this is between India and Pakistan. We have equipment that we buy from all over the world. That doesn't define any law.
Good evening, to Mr. Gupta, a question you mentioned that you had just learned today about the night vision goggles.
No, I knew about the night vision goggles. I knew that night vision was a threat to us, and I didn't understand how they had this visibility. What I just learned today, that this technology was so advanced and so guarded by the United States that they didn't even sell these fourth generation night vision equipment to their ally Israel, but they left it behind in Afghanistan, and it's now being deployed by terrorists.
Thank you. I was going to ask you, who told you that? And how did you learn that? Are you sharing that? Do you consider this a threat now, based on...
The night vision was always a threat. The weaponry left behind in Afghanistan was always a threat. It's old news. The only new news for me, I learned from my ambassador while we were discussing this today, that equipment, the specific night vision equipment, was so advanced, this fourth generation night vision equipment was so advanced that America didn't even share it with their closest allies. It was only in their own army's use. They left it behind in Afghanistan, and as a result, it is now in the hands of the Taliban. I don't know who else they're selling it to, where else it would have reached. And that's one example. There's obviously lots of other weaponry and other things that we now have to face the battlefield. Maybe the ambassador can share more details.
Well, Mr. Anwar Iqbal from Dawn News. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. As far as the Indus Water Treaty is concerned, I would say, yeah, absolutely. Sort of the people who were the most well-versed on this topic were at the United Nations, but everybody was concerned about the weaponization of water and the precedent that this would set. As far as what Pakistan will do, at the moment, just the threat to cut off our water is a violation of the United Nations Charter. Pakistan has already announced if India was to act on this threat, this would be an act of war. It's not something that I say because I want to say it. This is not something that Pakistan relishes. We're not trying to be jingoistic. Existential